Do you have some thoughts around that? I mean, do we just go ahead and crank out low quality stuff because it works for SEO? I don't really like either option of having, people who really know how to write content, but then our cost goes way up. But then I want to create a bunch of jobs for our VAs. How you doing, Lane?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. I've been watching a bunch of your videos and such.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And I saw the ones like the 10 steps to rank for GMB. And that's kind of cool that you're using your own dog food as you're launching, or, your site's not live, or it's no indexed, and then you're using the tool.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to ask you a few things.
Got it.
Sure. I didn't realize you were going for white labeled SEO software or tools like that.
We haven't actually done a whole lot of SEO so far for Signal Genesys yet, but that's one of those things that to-dos. We are doing a little bit, but I haven't put a heavy focus on it yet.
Well, based on the videos I was watching, I thought you were live doing SEO for Signal Genesys.
We are. I haven't really done a lot of focus on it myself. I have the team just doing some SEO every month, but yeah, it's been one of those things that I got to put my own personal focus on too, and do some writing and some blogs and things like that too.
Yeah. So it was weird because, using SEMrush or Ahrefs, I see you have some of these, you have a ton of these links, which I assume is coming from the signals that you're generating and internal links and whatnot. But why do you think the keywords for the site are 0?
You're looking at a subdomain that's behind the password. So,
but even if we go to the main site, it's the same thing.
Yeah, well, like I said, we haven't put any real focus on SEO for Signal Genesys yet.
Okay. Oh.
And we're white label, so whatever we've got in terms of backlinks that's when you're seeing different metrics here than you are for the subdomain. Mm-hmm. So we do have some ranking keywords here, but we haven't put a lot of focus yet on Signal Genesys. I've used our software more to do SEO for Quantum Agency.
Got it.
And my case study, I did a case study on ranking a page on Quantum Agency for some keywords using Signal Genesys software to do the ranking.
Okay. Oh, so you're saying then Signal Genesys is more for GMB, but I got the sense it also worked for.
No, it works for both organic and GMB for sure.
Okay. Because like the way this is set up, you're using, walking through your 10-step process for these tips where you're writing an article and you're using PAA and you're publishing this to I connected in my Twitter and my Reddit and these other pieces. Isn't the point of that? Maybe I think I'm not getting something. When you're writing an article that is SEO'd properly and it's distributed to these other places, it's tied to the 3 versions of the media room, isn't that the whole point of ranking on a geo-modified term, whether it's Boulder chiropractor or SEO software or things like that? My thought was, I think I'm missing something, but my thought was if I was going through these steps like you have, these are sending signals to Google that I want to rank on, for each article, the key phrase that I want, right? So when I look at your media room, I see you have actually a fair bit of stuff. Shouldn't because you're following your process, shouldn't this rank on your name or rank on white labels? I mean, this is, as far as I can tell, I think this looks like a good article to me, right?
Yeah.
It's written the right way, right headings. Yeah.
So if you're looking for us to be the leading the way with SEO, using it on our own, we're not doing that. I'm telling you, I haven't put a huge focus for our purposes of marketing Signal Genesys on doing SEO for ourselves. I need to. It's just one of my to-dos.
But I thought the whole point of using Signal Genesys was to do SEO, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
our distribution for our software, I have a different strategy. I'm going directly to agencies through distribution platforms like 7-Figure Agency,
Right.
like Vendasta. I'm not focused on SEO to get our customers.
No, I understand that point.
Okay.
I'm just wondering why, if you do, and I hope you don't take this as like criticism or get defensive. But I look at your techniques here and I think they're great. I'm like, wow, you're answering PAA sorts of questions. My understanding, and I could be completely wrong, but my understanding is that if I use this for local businesses and I use the techniques that you've demonstrated here,
Yep.
I think are great. They seem to make sense to me. And whether it's local or non-local, this should start to show up in Google. I understand you haven't been focusing on SEO.
Yep.
That you're doing B2B, relationship partner driven stuff. You're not trying to use SEO to,
Yep.
you're not trying to rank number one on SEO software, which is of course a very competitive space. But my thought is like, I watched your videos and how you did this. This would seem, even though, you're not a local business where you have an office that people come to and you're trying to rank in GMB. I understand that's not what you're trying to do, but by following these steps, wouldn't these articles in the media room show up in Google, even though that's not your main focus?
Honestly, I haven't checked. If we're going to do SEO for Signal Genesis and really do it in a serious way, I would have to go in and really optimize the whole site. And the site is not optimized right now. So we haven't done on page yet in a deep way. I'm not doing a full blown SEO campaign for Signal Genesis.
But even I don't do that. And none of our clients do that. And agencies don't know how to do that. I think there's almost nobody in 7-figure agency that knows how to do that. And if there's tools like Signal Genesis, then why don't we just use Signal Genesis and not have to worry about, hiring expensive people and doing.
Well, because Signal Genesis isn't a magic bullet. It's not going to get rankings for you in a vacuum where nothing else has been paid attention to. Citations, on page, a good optimized GMB listing if that's included, but also white label SEO software is one of the hardest things to go after. So again, we're just doing content right now in the media room.
Yeah.
I haven't focused on SEO on Signal Genesis, which is probably why you're not seeing a ton of rankings for that particular site. If you want to compare other sites where there's a real SEO campaign going, that would probably be a better demo, if you will. But
okay. All right, fair enough. So I'm on your whatever the super duper platinum plan is for $500 a month, and I'm trying to understand because I went through your process. So if I have the media room set up and I create articles, I submit them, your tool publishes them to our properties and then publishes to these app channels. Is there any other distribution that you guys push to, like any of the premium channels, or because I saw the thing like press releases are $10 each or something? So
10 credits each. Yep.
Okay. Because when I'm using an issue wire or some of these other, paid press release sites, they'll charge a various amount for each one. And then that gives a syndication and distribution to these other places. Is any of that stuff there, or is this only, or is this kind of like a Vendasta where we're using your tool that helps us authors so then we can publish to our own properties?
We just don't have we don't focus on a huge quantity of sites. What we're doing on the Frankly network of sites is unique in terms of how we execute, because we have unique control over how we publish through to those sites. How we execute on the new sites is a big piece of why we get results. And so we're not looking to go out to other news sites that we can't necessarily execute the way that our software executes. So no, we don't include like a bunch of the other sites that, like an issue wire or
there's tons of them that
Access Wire, PR News Wire, all the wires out there. No, we don't focus on traditional PR or a mass quantity of sites to distribute to. Press releases and the way these are executed are duplicate content. So it has to be executed in a proper way in order for it not to actually start to hurt you with repetitive use.
Okay. I don't have an unlimited plan though, right? If I log out and I compare the different plans.
Well, there's no such thing as an unlimited plan per se. You can put unlimited amount of entities into your account. For every PR you do, you're going to have a 10 credit cost. For every app channel activation, you're going to have a certain amount of app channel credits that'll cost per month for that app channel.
So you're running this as like a pure SaaS where we're coming in, we're paying our monthly fee, and then we're buying credits on top.
Yes. Well, your monthly fee is going to be done. It's you're in the lifetime plan, so you're going to have 12 payments of 500, and then your lifetime subscription costs will have been paid for. So you won't have any further costs after that 12 payment of $500. From there,
Monthly
yes,
cost.
you'll always have usage costs.
How do I get to that cost to figure out? Because I want to pump out.
You have to go to go.signalgenesis.com. We have that subdomain hidden from Google search. We don't want our pricing to be visible to the general public.
Okay.
And then you can click on pricing up there. So you're in the elite lifetime 12 payment plan right now. So once the 12 payments are done, your subscription cost or access cost is paid for.
So that's confused because so I understand there's a monthly fee, which I guess is financed over, so it's $6,000, but financed over a year. And then I saw something with credits, but also it's $10 per.
Yeah, that's the publication cost right there. Yeah. That's per distribution or publication.
So this is to use your tool. This $10 doesn't cover any sort of paid syndication.
That's a press release out to the news networks. Yes.
Oh, news. So how do I know what's in the news networks?
Well, you have to do a PR first. We don't like publish those because those change from week to month to month. They're not always the same. So we don't like put a list of here's everything in the news network. And also because this is an actual press release process, not every network site picks up the press release. So, but we have a network of about 50 some odd sites, and a publication of a press release to that network is 10 credits on the lifetime plan.
So it's $10 and 10 credits.
It's the same thing. Well, it's 10 credits. So $10 is equal to 10 credits. $1 equals a credit.
Okay. Well, why not just make it $10? Or why is there credit?
Because we have credits inside. And I mean, I could make it 10 credits here, but then people go, well, how much does 10 credits cost? So, I put $10 here because people ask how much is 10 credits. Then I just say, well, it's 10 credits equals $10. So we do have a credit system in our platform for a reason. There's different strategic reasons we have credit system versus just buying it for $10. Notwithstanding the fact that we don't want to have everyone just pay $10 per press release. We want them to buy them in bulks of 100 credits or 200 credits just because of the Stripe billing alone would kill us.
Yeah, that certainly makes sense. Okay. Yeah. And plus it's better for cash flow because you get prepayment. Right.
Now, our pricing is a little bit confusing, or I would say more complicated than just straightforward. And that's not by design. And it is by design. We didn't try to be complicated, but because we're serving agencies, we put a lot of forethought into our pricing and our model so that as we matured the platform, we didn't massively disrupt our agency business. So let me explain. We have these app channels. The media room was our first big app channel with the integration code and all that goes beyond the media room. We now have Twitter app channel. We have the Reddit app channel. We have the Google review app channel.
Okay.
Those are mini software apps unto themselves inside a greater platform with specific functionality. So when we started developing these, the question that Matt and I had was, well, what happens when we have a more mature app for the media room, or our integration into Twitter's API gets deeper and has more functionality to it? If we don't have these credit system and we don't have a tiered credit system or tiered app channel system, we're going to actually have to force all of these new features onto an agency that may have, like Coslyric, that may have almost 300 clients with us, right? Oh. So it's going to be like, well, we innovate. Now we have to charge more for that app channel. But if you're a big agency that's got hundreds of clients using a certain level of pricing and certain app channel with us, if we force that new innovation on you, it's going to really disrupt your pricing with us. So we are going to we release our app channel feature sets in tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 1 is standard. As we go up to tier 2 or up to tier 3, we're getting into more complicated or more advanced code set or features in that app channel. And so as we delve deeper into innovation and feature sets within each app channel, we'll release those features in tiers. The agencies can then activate the new tier or not based on a per entity level. So nothing will be forced on them. Therefore, we don't disrupt their pricing with us or their current budget model with us.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I didn't understand the tier 1 and tier 2. So I don't know if I paid for it twice, or I get the free tier, or I guess it didn't show
Yeah.
up in the tier.
We got to work on our UI and our explanations more for sure. No doubt about it. Matt and I have talked about it. That's in the works, just to make it more intuitive, to make it more self-explainable, so that I don't have to, get on a Zoom meeting and explain some of these things, because it is deep, and our software is starting to do a lot. And then we have the tiers, so that it presents another level of complexity.
Okay.
If you want to click on the arrow that's pointing down on the right next to the gear icon. No, right down. There you go, right there. So there's your app channels, and you're going to have tiers of app channels, in each one. So if you click on it, you'll see, if you scroll down on the left side, tier 1, tier 2. So you've got tier 2 enabled. So for instance, when you enable tier 2, it reveals the hosted domain tab there just above. Whereas if you only have tier 1, all you'll see is branded integration on the left side there. The hosted domain, no, you went a little too far. It's in the white tabs there. You see configuration, styling, okay. Hosted domain. So that hosted domain tab only appears when you activate tier 2. What are we doing in tier 2? If you choose hosted domain, go ahead and do that if you like.
Okay.
So I would choose a subdomain here. I would just type in Blitz Metrics. This would be your brand or company name altogether. Yep. And then from the subdomain, you'll choose. And then you'll just click the button, request hosted domain. And in about 4 to 5 seconds here, our software is going to provision a social wall on this domain. You can go ahead and click on it now. It's live. It's hosted in the Amazon cloud. And now you've got another hosted asset, blitzmetrics.socialwall.xyz. And it's bringing in automatically your tweets and Reddit posts directly into this new asset as well.
Ah. So then if you optimize this particular hosted domain, that's SEO and more signals in general.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So we haven't we actually have the demo of this site built in a sandbox, but for Media Room, for instance, if you go to mediaroom.app, go back to Signal Genesis, or you can go to mediaroom.app, look at the site first, and I'll show you. So this is our Media Room app channel, and we built out basically a full site here in case a client were to ever go here, so that it looks like there's a full-blown Media Room software running inside.
Okay.
Now, everyone who runs a hosted Media Room off of our website or off of our software will get a mediaroom.app's Media Room. So if you go back to Signal Genesis, all right, so you see hosted domain there. Okay. On the left-hand side, yep, click that. Choose hosted domain. Okay. Type in Blitz Metrics here.
Why don't you just automatically do that? Or there's only one choice here anyway, right?
Right. Because you can choose the subdomain. You don't have to choose Blitz Metrics. You could choose Dennis U if you wanted to, or Blitz Metrics USA, or whatever you want. So we give agencies a choice.
All right.
So this is going to create a hosted Media Room in the cloud that's now live. If you click on it, you'll see the Media Room's live, waiting for its first press release. So blitzmetrics.mediaroom.app, all right, that's the Media Room app channel running. And as soon as you publish your first press release, it will also publish here along with any other Media Room that you have running with our software. So tier 3 of the Media Room, if you go back to Signal Genesis, hit close here. You've got tier 3 enabled. So that gives you the branded integration Media Room, which is that first white.
Wait, but I have to enable each of these tiers.
No, if you enable tier 3, then tier 1 and tier 2 are automatically enabled.
Oh, because I think here I didn't know, so I enabled 1 and 3, but here's giving me an option to enable 2.
Yeah, you don't need to, because tier 3 is the highest level. So when you enable tier 3, you're getting tier 1 and tier 2 as well.
Okay. Huh. This is almost like nudging me to want to enable this one because it says it's still here. If I do this, it'll charge me 5 credits, even though I have it.
Well, it's less than what you're getting for tier 3, whatever tier 3 is. Uh-huh. Now, you may have enabled this before you upgraded to lifetime. Uh-huh. Did you do that? Do you know?
No. I did it as I was watching your little demo.
So did you enable? So go ahead and disable tier 3. And then hit
I
re-enable.
first enabled tier 1 because I was just reading,
Right.
top to bottom, and I clicked on that, and then I saw tier 3 and I clicked on that, and I thought, wait, does tier 3 also include 1 and 2? But then I saw two is still available, so I thought, well, I guess I have to enable all 3 of them.
That will we can make that
right?
more intuitive too. So I can tell you this whole back end here of the app channels and all of even the nomenclature, that's all in a part of a major overhaul that the dev team's in process with.
Okay.
Including more intuitive setup wizards to make it more intuitive. So re-enable tier 3 though. We want tier 3.
Okay.
So so 7 amp credits. Yeah. So the hosted domain, the branded domain, that's now live. Looks like you already set up the branded domain with the CNAME records. If you click on that one, yep. And then choose branded domain. This is going to allow you to create, a media room on your subdomain, on a subdomain of blitzmetrics.com.
Oh yeah, so I think I had GoDaddy open, but I didn't finish it. Yeah.
So you got to just add this first CNAME record and then hit refresh down there in the bottom left, and our system will go out and look for that first CNAME record. Once it finds it, our system's going to give you the final second CNAME record, which you'll also add, and then you'll have the same media room that's on mediaroom.app will also be live on news.blitzmetrics.com or press, whatever you chose. I don't know which one you chose, but.
So this is a media room per client, but then we have one for the agency too?
So every entity you add into the software can have 3 media rooms live for that entity, one entity. If you enable tier 3 of the media room for that entity, you're going to have the ability to launch 3 different media rooms for that entity. One on the client's website or target website, one on mediaroom.app subdomain, and one on a subdomain of the target domain.
Okay. So for each client, you recommend doing all 3, and then you recommend the agency to do all 3 too.
Well, yeah, I would recommend the agency do it if they're going to use it for themselves, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The hosted media rooms, the one that's the branded version and the hosted version, those are going to complement and help build the authority of the branded integration media room. If you choose on branded integration on the left-hand side there underneath hosted domain, right there, yeah, choose branded integration. And go ahead, so go ahead and click this, create the media room code, click on it again, click enhanced. You have to do this a second click to turn enhanced on. And now if you click on it again, you'll get the media room code. This code here is what you install on the client's target website or your agency website if you're, in this case, for Blitzmetrics. So to have the media room actually live on your Blitzmetrics website, you just take this little integration code here and go create a new page called media room or newsroom or whatever you want to call it, and drop this code into an HTML section or widget or box, whatever you want to call it.
I see.
If you want to do it live, I'm happy to, help you with it live if you want to do it.
Sure. Let's give this a shot.
Just get into your Blitzmetrics website.
Where do I want to put this?
Pages, going to go to a new page. And you will type in media room. All right. You're not using a builder. It's just a straight WordPress right here, right?
I think I've got a bunch of these different builders. I'm not sure which ones are here.
So we want to just insert an HTML block then here. You can just type in HTML there in the search bar. Usually we'll bring it up for you. There you go. And then we're going to paste that code right in there. Yep.
See, this has got to be so easy. VAs can just do this all day long. That's
and hit publish. You can go ahead and view the page. So it's ready for its first press release here. We've got automatic schema injection happening on this page. Our software is injecting schema on every page that we publish or host.
Interesting. All right. And then it refers back to the site. I saw the thing where with the articles being published that you follow everything except the first and the last link. Is that because you're thinking that the amount of juice will just be split between the first and last link instead of across all the links?
Well, only do follows are going to get the juice. That, we've just done some testing and found that Google finds a little preference for first and last links as do follow, everything else in between no follow. But there's times that we don't follow that SOP as well. It vary it. But yeah, if you've only got 2 do follows, then you're going to split the juice between those 2 links. If you only got 1, then that 1 do follow will get all the juice. And that's we give you up to 3 in each press release for do follows.
Okay. I've seen some people argue over this, so I don't really know what the answer is, but I heard some people say that if you no follow some of these middle links, that it doesn't pass more juice to the do follow links. It just throws that juice just kind of disappears. Is this?
I think that's incorrect based on what I've seen and what I know and understand. Okay. Any do follows that you have on the page are going to split the juice of the page rank from that page.
So you're saying the no follows basically push the juice to the do follows that you have?
No, I mean, the algorithm just looks at the no follows differently. It just does not pass page rank for the no follows. When it finds a do follow, if it finds 2 do follows on the page, regardless of whether it's the first and the second links or the first and the last or whatever, those 2 do follows will then have the page rank split between the 2 of them.
Okay, so you're saying then that obviously a no follow means don't pass any juice, but you're saying by having those no follows, there's more juice being passed to the do follows?
No, there's only a certain amount of juice is going to be passed per page based on that page rank. Right. So whether that's 1 do follow or 2 do follows or 3 do follows, it's going to be split accordingly between the 1, the 2, or the 3. We allow up to 3. As an SOP internally, we only use 2 do follows.
Okay, cool. Hey, so for the rankings, and I made a post in Josh Nelson's group, and I think he replied for the measurement. I was thinking of Vendasta, and I think you said that was your favorite too?
For multi-location?
Yeah.
Yeah. Vendasta's got the best multi-location reporting system out there, bar none, that I've found. It's better than agency analytics and anything else that's out there for multi-location. When you get into single location, you could make the argument that agency analytics is just as good as Vendasta or better or whatever. But yeah, multi-location, I don't think there's anything better than Vendasta.
I think so too, but I'm biased.
I'm only biased because I've used it and found that to be the truth. Like, I'd be biased towards something else if something else was actually better.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I've tested everything there's always new things coming on, but I'm also really leery of new software because then you got to go through all the pains and the headaches and the just, going through birth with those new software platforms as they try to mature. And yeah, I know what we have to deal with internally with our own software, just the maturation and dealing with dependencies and bugs, and
especially the collection of the insights, because most of these other tools don't know how to collect the insights and OAuth in on behalf of a third party as well.
Right.
So do you have any like general stats or guidelines or expectations on when we set this up, how long? This is always the question people ask about SEO,
how long do you get results?
Or what's the of course it depends on lots of things, but is there like some kind of average that you see, or not to make any promises?
I say 3 to 6 months as long as you follow that SOP of a new article at least every 3 to 4 weeks. So open up a Google search bar, just like a new tab, and just do a search for Google stacking. All right. See the number 1 result here? That's our
I was looking at one of these sites that's a client of yours that is a testimonial, and they're doing some stuff that I thought was a little black hat.
Click on the link here. I'm showing you here. This is a global organic result. This is our white label agency here. If you scroll down to the bottom here, you're going to see 3 videos.
Yeah.
These 3 case studies are also on our YouTube channel for Signal Genesis. It's me using Signal Genesis to rank this page in the number 1 spot, and it took me about 70 days.
Okay.
And I focused everything on really optimizing this page. Like, this page is really well optimized, and I optimized it twice. over those 60 days. So I created it the first time and I came back 2 more times and added more, did a little bit more optimization, added in some FAQ schema, whatever, right? I just improved the page while I was also doing 3 different press releases in a row over the course, like every 3 weeks over the course of 65 or so days. By the end of day 70, this page was in the number 1 spot for the number 1 target keyword. The other thing I did in this case study is in the first press release and the first iteration of that blog post that I was trying to rank, I actually went after a lower hanging fruit keyword, an easier or a less competitive keyword. Once I was ranking for the lower competitive keyword, then I switched my approach to go after the top keyword, which is Google stacking. That gets searched about 4,500 to 5,000 times a month. Wow. So that was my ultimate keyword, but I stepped into it by ranking first for some of the easier keywords. And then in the second and third press release, we started ranking for some of the more competitive keywords.
There you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 4 SERP features, especially the featured snippet.
Yeah. And in those 3 videos that I show, I kind of show the progression of what I did and how I ranked for this keyword. I didn't do any other extra link building. All I did was 3 press releases over 65 days.
Wow. That's
so
crazy.
Now
That's
Quantum
crazy.
Agency is a good optimized website. So I have to say that, like, it wasn't a brand new website. I did have some authority before, but not a lot, as you can see.
Yeah. These are press release bits.
Yeah.
Geez, I didn't think that was possible. Wow. And you're right. That's a medium competitive term.
Yeah. In the process, we're ranking for a bunch of related keywords: Google Entity Stacking, Google Asset Stacking, Google Asset Stack, Google Entity Stack, Google Cloud Stack. I'm going after Google Cloud Stack now as a secondary term now. But anyway, the point of it is that all we did was 3 press releases on a really optimized blog post to get that thing ranking.
Do you think, like, for local, because when you have, like, let's say it's a Denver orthodontist or whatever it is, but then it's on Jacksonville News Hub or these other ones that it sends a confused signal. Like, for a national thing like Quantum Newswire or anyone selling B2B, that makes sense. But is there any confusion where when we're doing these press releases and they're not related to that city or geo or vertical? You're saying, this is just me asking.
There's nothing negative about it. I mean, could it be better if it was an Austin business and we had an Austin News Hub site, or an Austin media news site? Sure. But it's not. There's nothing negative. As you can see, there's great results regardless of the local relevance factor. That is a factor. There's no doubt that, relevance or proximity. I mean, that's really more of that proximity is a ranking factor, but we're not inhibited because of that.
Right. That is wow. So I was looking at this Rank Fortress, which is one of your main testimonials, and obviously there's a whole range of SEO agencies that are doing things white hat to black hat.
Yeah.
But when we look at the stuff like these guys have, where they're submitting, they're doing CTR, or they're doing stuff that is kind of designed just to trick the engine. It's not for humans, like this.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this, I mean, they're using your stuff, but is there anything here that could potentially get us in trouble? Or I guess these guys will use your stuff, but then do stuff that's black hat. Right?
Yeah. William's doing all sorts of stuff. I keep telling William, I think part of it's because he's selling it and he knows there's so many of these people out there want to buy this black hat stuff. They want to buy the wonky stuff. I don't know why. And I keep telling him, like, if you don't have to do it, then why are you doing it? Like, if you can rank without it, then why do you do it? If you can't rank without it, then okay, then I can see making the case, like, let's include this as a standard operating procedure for our SEO campaigns. But William does a lot of things that, you don't necessarily need to do, or might be considered more black hat or what else. Okay,
fair enough. Because I think it could send the message that if we're doing SEO, then we have to do some of these sorts of things. But you're saying no, which is good, because
I'm saying you don't have to do that. We find that we don't need to do a lot or any of this wonky stuff that would be considered black hat out there. We do offer what we have on our Quantum Agency site. We do build Google Entity Stacks. I find that they actually work very well.
And
so
this is what you're talking about here, like this YouTube stack or the other stacks.
Well, the Google entity
Basically
stack
white
that we
labeling a lot of
build,
your stuff here, plus his stuff too, right?
yes, like he's building his own Google entity stacks. Like he doesn't outsource that to us. The only thing he uses in all of this, the only thing that we're doing for him is he's using our Signal Genesis software. That's it. Everything else that William does is on his own.
Oh, okay, so this had me confused because when I saw stack, I thought it meant yours instead of his stack. Okay, that makes sense.
He's building his own entity stack. I think he's borrowed from us and learned some of the things that we do, and it's just, but now he's doing it on his own.
So he's even outright saying instead of white labeling it,
Yes.
3 Signal Genesis press releases and a media room. But that's the only thing he's doing with you. Everything else is his own, whatever.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that makes a lot more sense. This had me confused, thinking, wait a minute, do I have to do any of this? Or, because a lot of SEO people, for whatever reason, as you and I know, want to shortcut or do something that's kind of, whatever. Let's see. Cool.
If you want to see, like, go to Quantum Agency's site, the one that, if you go back to right there, that one, yeah. Scroll all the way up, click on Media Room, and then click on one of these articles here. Doesn't really matter which one.
Okay.
That one might be too soon, but scroll all the way down to the bottom. Underneath the map, you're going to see in the news. Click on that. Okay. So this automatically populates into every article at the bottom here in the news section for every article or press release that you syndicate through your account per entity. So it'll publish to that entity's media room, and then 3 to 4 days later, this in the news section will automatically populate once our crawlers can go out and validate the pickups.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So you can click on these. Go ahead and click on one if you want.
Okay.
And it takes you right out to that media site.
That's weird. So I'm just sort of talking out loud. So you're able to get this off of citations instead of actual juice that's being passed. Oh, wow. I didn't think this would still work. And so this is all being generated through when you pay the $10 each time for the press release, which ties back to the media room, and the media room links to all the different places it got distributed. So to my earlier question on how do I know where this is being distributed, it's right here. This is telling us what.
Yeah, and that's not exhaustive. There is going to be a download that you'll get in the back end at the end, which will have links to every one of them. But this is a random sample of about 25 or so of the sites.
Sure.
And we randomize this.
Kind of working, or maybe this is before you did the level 2, level 3, whatever Twitter, Reddit thing.
If you click on that, it should take you out to the Twitter account. Is it not working?
No.
All right, that's a bug then.
The other ones all seem to work.
Yeah.
Okay. This is making a lot more sense now. All right. So this is me just kind of talking out loud, trying to understand my brain. Cause I know you've answered these questions about a zillion times over.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. So you've moved from this other WordPress plugin to the media room to make it easier to distribute this content so that everyone is basically like their own agency, and you're linking through all these. You're creating, obviously, like your software says, you're creating as many signals as possible. If the client via the agency is able to produce this content over time, then Google will see this and it ranks in the GMBs, but also ranks for non-local.
Right.
But if the site itself has power, like Blitzmetrics is a DR62, and I've got tons of links and things like that, then it makes it even more powerful because it's more
absolutely signals. You bet.
In your demonstration, you were using Jasper to write some of the articles, and then you kind of gave up and wrote your own.
I don't use it. I've tried
more effort to go to try to fix the thing than to write the thing. Straight up.
Yeah. I've tried to use Jasper now. I have just recently started to try to use ScaleNut. Have you heard of ScaleNut?
Never heard of. There's so many of them though. They're all GPT-3, right?
Yeah, ScaleNut it appears and looks to be better than Jasper, so I believe I'm going to be canceling Jasper. And
there's so many.
Wow. There is, and I don't think any of them are really ever going to like replace a human. But when it comes to making the job of the human writer just a little bit more simple and just see some economies of scale, maybe for the writing team, then I'm all for it.
I don't think these tools are going to make it because I think that they're a step of workflow that I think the marketing automation companies, or even like I was showing you where freaking Rank Math and HubSpot, or like all these guys are integrating content AI as part of their of their whole
Yeah.
CMS. Like,
Mhm.
I think you've got way more power if you are the CMS or marketing.
We're actually going to have our own tool. We've already been approved for access to the AI library. So we'll actually have our own AI assistant inside Signal Genesys, because ultimately inside Signal Genesys, we have a whole content library coming with a DAM, a digital asset manager. So you'll have a video asset manager, an image asset manager, an audio asset manager, a content or text asset manager. All of that will be inside the content library. And then that content will be able to be deployed into an article, into a press release, onto a page of videos, different ways that you'll be able to use the content. So, that's coming in the future, but ultimately we will be that CMS. The content will reside in our platform. The entity information will be there. The GMB connections will be there, and you'll be able to publish out and syndicate out to a host of different platforms. Yes, press releases and news sites, but also our blog ecosystem is coming.
That makes a lot of sense. Hey, all these news hubs, are these your sites?
Yes.
Huh. Wow. It's crazy. These are all like nothing sorts of weird long tail terms, but it's nuts to see you're able to rank on so many keywords off of no authority and almost no links.
It's because it's Google News.
Okay.
These are Google News approved sites.
Okay.
So they get indexed immediately. We've got an advanced version of the News Hub stuff here coming too as well. We're working on a network of several hundred Google News sites that will be somewhat niche relevant as well. So,
okay. And
if you're familiar with SEO Network, we have a similar type of strategy coming for that to replace that as well soon. Huh. The next 6 to 12 months are going to be big in our platform in terms of just what we launch and features and things like that. But so you shouldn't need to do anything else, use any other tool for SEO. You should have your research tool, and you should be able to use Signal Genesys and then just put out good content. And that should be, in our estimation, and that's our goal. That's all you'll need to move the needle in rankings. And then plugins like a Rank Math and Link Whisper. And yes, and we already integrated with Rank Math. We've integrated our software and our integration code to work with Rank Math specifically. Oh, really? Yes. So wait, so if I look at my posts in Rank Math, or do I go from Signal Genesys and you have Rank Math, or one? No, what I'm saying is our integration code, that code that you put on your website to deploy the media room. Yeah, we had to do some specific things to make sure that worked with Rank Math when Rank Math was on the site. Our integration code is doing a lot. Like, it looks like just a couple of lines of code, but it's publishing pages, in many pages onto that WordPress site in the root URL structure with 2 lines of code. Oh, in the media room. Okay. Yeah. I see. Like, I know it's understated, but when you put that 2 lines of code in the media room and all of a sudden you start publishing all the press releases, that's creating pages on the WordPress site in the root URL structure that are crawlable by Google, all because of 2 lines of code that you put on that page. That's cool. Okay. So that's, that's this other one we're looking at. No, it's the one that's on your actual website. Yeah, that integration code. All right, right. I have to put the C name. Okay. Got it. Huh. Hey, you have one of these here. You have an SSL issue. You have a site-wide this one. That's not nothing we can control. That's a news site. Oh, that's not yours. Okay. These are all live news sites. We don't, although we publish to them, we do not, we don't have actual control over the domains. Oh, I see. So some of them you own and some of them you have a relationship with. Okay. Yeah. The news hubs are the only ones that we own. Okay. That's crazy. All right. So you've set up the pricing such that there's no reason an agency, because the price on the one-off, what is it, like $70 a press release or whatever? If you're 75, yeah. Mm-hmm. 75. So unless you're like not able to do 6 or 7 a month, the math is like, why wouldn't you just pay the $500 a month and then you pay only $10, right? Or you've made it so it's kind of. We want everyone to become a lifetime customer. Okay. We're not in it for the subscription cost, that lifetime cost. Our heaviest users like Josh and David Kozleric, they're lifetime customers, but their usage of the platform is heavier than most. So right? So we want heavy users of the platform, not just a bunch of, free grow plan people or subscribers even, because the more you use the platform, we'll grow with you.
Got it.
So we incentivize everyone to become a lifetime customer on the subscription side or access side, and then just use the platform as much as you want or need.
Huh.
And hopefully that grows.
All right. So I have some relationships, as you know, with what we call figureheads or lighthouses in each of these different industries. And each of these lighthouses will have 10,000 or 100,000 of their kind, of home service businesses, of life insurance agents, of
gyms, whatever.
Whatever. And all these guys are wanting to, because they make money with their conference and they have a big email list and they sell coaching and things like that. But they all are now wanting to do.
They want some MRR, don't they?
Yeah. They want some done for you stuff. And so they want to partner on the agency side, as you can imagine. And of course, I want to say yes to this, but I don't want to bite off more than I can chew or make promises about SEO that's going to get me in trouble like all the other SEO people that make ridiculous promises. So what we talked about before was I need to make this so that, I'll show you this one other thing, but I appreciate you taking a Sunday too.
Oh, absolutely.
Here, let me go to, now this is Tommy Mello. I'm in Tommy Mello's group too. I teach here every week. Let's see this one. I have one for each country. For some reason, they're more loyal when they're,
sure.
The Philippines versus Pakistan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This group's now up at 20,000 people. And, these people are eager. But the trouble is that their English is terrible. And they don't understand what it's like to work with American clients. So it's super basic.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got to be able to pull out training so these people can come in and just get qualified and learn how to do the things that they do. And you have a lot of stuff where you're teaching stuff, but I think it's too much it's too sophisticated, even though you've made it easier and easier.
It needs to be easier still. I understand. It is sophisticated and a little complicated.
I'm wondering, is there some kind of, because there's kind of a mapping that you have for the agency to set things up.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine the corresponding side on the client side, which we have our client onboarding where they basically have to produce a bunch of 1-minute videos, which we can turn into articles, things like that.
Right.
But we don't have a workflow for the worker. And I think of the worker as a very junior agency. It's where okay, fine. Someone who's a senior person can onboard do account management kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets, after collecting the basic information, I'm talking out loud, then these level 1, we have a 6-level system based on how skillful you are. The lower level VAs could come in and basically, the hardest part is turning it into articles and whatnot. I see our VAs produce content that is just horrendous. What is the one that I just saw this morning? I saw one of these. It was so bad. 3 criterias when choosing the best person for the job. You can tell those are a title like this, but you can tell it's written by a Filipino.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And so everyone we have as figureheads or people that are respected by other people in the industry. So they're not just this guy's not just coach. He's also, known among professional athletes and stuff like that. We're using Descript to turn this stuff into videos, which should be YouTube, so we can get the featured, snippet and all that.
Yeah.
Transcribing, we're adding. You can see we're using our article process to create stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm hoping is that somehow we can take our current article writing process. We can crank out thousands and thousands of these, but the trouble is that maybe they'll work for SEO, but if a human looks at them, they'll,
it stains the brand a little bit.
Yeah. So do you have something? Do you have some thoughts around that? I mean, do we just go ahead and crank out low quality stuff because it works for SEO, or should we? I don't really like either option of having, people who really know how to write content, but then our cost goes way up. but then I want to create a bunch of jobs for our VAs where they're not.
Yeah, like I'm stuck kind of in the middle of that with our white label agency, Quantum Agency. Like we're doing, SEO and content writing for other agencies and their clients. And so like I have to keep my costs down. Like I can't have costs go out, per article. But at the same time, like I couldn't have that type of article go out to a client because they would usually kick back. So what we do is, number one, we do have, I wouldn't say low level, they're a little higher level writers. We're probably paying about $8 per 100 words, in terms of cost. And then I do have one of two other people on our team that are QCs that they go through and they'll QC before it gets sent off to the agency and the client. And they'll make some minor changes or tweaks as needed just to try and polish it up a little bit more. And that's about as good as we can do as a white label while keeping our costs in an affordable sense where we can deliver, white label at
$8. You're saying 8 cents. It's basically 8 cents a word.
Right. 8 cents a word. Yep.
And then guys like this are maybe like double or triple. Byron White sold his content. What's the name of his Writer Access, right? Writer Access, they have like whatever, 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
He also runs the content marketing conference.
Yep, I've been on their platform before.
Yeah, so you see they have these different tiers of like 5 cents a word, 25 cents a word, all the way up.
Yep.
Do you think it's a better thing to try to use one of these platform players? So like here,
we use SEO Content Hero, Joe.
Who's that SEO Content Hero?
Yep, that's Joe Graysberry. He's in the 7-figure. So when we have overflow or we hit capacity on our side, we'll send Joe usually an order every month for $1,000 to $2,000 worth of writing. Just because I don't have, full-time capacity to meet everything that we need to do. And we order the professional level
this is what you were saying before about the $8 or.
Yeah. And there's one other writing resource that we use that's also right at $8 per 100 words too. But Joe, they do a really good job. And on their professional level, like we never have any revisions that we need to do.
Wow.
If we order authority at $6 per 100 words, we have revisions we need to do. If we order professional, it's usually good to go on the first draft.
That makes so much sense for only to 30% more and not having to go round and round. The round and round is what kills me on.
And how much does that really cost you, right? It's hard to calculate it, but it costs you something.
You know how much QA I personally do. Think about the cost of that. It's insane. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right, cool. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of how to scale this thing with the figureheads, because the pain points are, getting access to the website to set up these different things, the VAs to do this stuff, making sure that we have training to pull these pieces together, the analytics, which I guess we'll just use Vendasta for all this. Why not? Is there anything you think, anything else I need to know to?
Make sure the press releases are written in third person. That's really the only nuance or switch from a writing standpoint.
You have a guide on writing these press releases? I know you got a bunch of these videos, or we could even have, maybe I can come to one of these guys and say, or one of our people and say, look at all of Lane's stuff and then create this guide, or we'll re-record it with our tips or something.
Go back to Signal Genesys, the main software account. Close out of here. Scroll down, close, X out, top left. Up in the very top, knowledge base, click on the knowledge base icon, the mortarboard. To the right, one more to the right, one more to the right, right there.
That one, okay.
Yeah. And then click on the getting started category, top left. And then click on getting started checklist once it loads. Number 5, there's a link there. Open that up in a new tab, that Google Doc.
All right. Good.
So this combines that SOP that you had open before, but I go into a lot more detail here. And if you scroll up to the very top, there's actually a YouTube video of me going through this with Josh Nelson about 2 months ago.
Oh, good.
That YouTube video URL that's right there in the very top, just below the title there.
Yeah,
right there. Yep.
I need to post this here in our group.
Yeah. So that YouTube video that's about a little over an hour, and I go through that Google Doc with everyone on that session, and so that YouTube is a replay of that session.
How do we determine whether people are qualified if they go through this training? They got to submit articles.
I mean, I would have them just write a press release.
Okay.
See how they do. Can they follow the SOP? Will they use the free the keywords everywhere or other tools to make sure that they've got like some optimizations in there with people also ask questions and target keyword, and do they make section headings? Like that SOP is, I mean.
We want them to use the free version of Signal Genesys as their way of qualifying?
I don't know that you want, so these are your doers?
Okay.
Your doers, you don't want to send your doers out to get a free Signal Genesys account because they won't know what to do.
Okay. So we just want them to write the press release. We'll just say paste the link below.
Explain to me what you're thinking, so I understand. Like you have the doers, you have the agency types, and you have these lighthouse clients. Like, explain to me what you're thinking.
So my biggest bottleneck is having competent workers, and these workers are not they're not agency owners. They don't want to be agency owners. They just want to make $500 a month doing VA kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I need thousands of them. I mean, I have 1.2 million across the different groups I have, but the trouble is they're just
the quality.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but you need them. You need thousands of them to do what?
Like this one, to write press releases, to edit videos, to set up websites, to do all the stuff that is.
Are they going to be working for Blitz Metrics when they do that?
Working in our marketplace. So we've been playing with spp.co to have that. And we built our own marketplace, but I kind of like theirs better than ours.
Okay.
For various reasons,
and you're going to bring these lighthouse influencer type connections that you have in the marketplace and say, here, if you need marketing doers.
So we're doing co-branding under each of the different lighthouses. So Tom Ferry, who's the guy in real estate, he's got his, Tom Ferry masterclass and Tom Ferry coaching and Tom Ferry this.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a Tom Ferry agency.
Okay.
And so these people can sign up for these basic packages where we're just repurposing content. They make their 1-minute videos, we turn them into articles, and their SEO magically will get better, right? That's all they need to know. Same thing for Glenn Vo. Glenn Vo is a dentist. He runs Nifty Thrifty Dentists. He's got 38,000 dentists, and he'll have the Nifty Thrifty, whatever, but then you can come in.
I mean, your content factory 1-minute videos combined with digital PR and Signal Genesys are a 1-2 punch.
That's exactly what I'm
every
doing.
time you have this content, now you just do a couple of press releases or maybe 6 of them. I don't know how many you have, but the content gets produced. You have the media room that's deployed to their website.
Exactly.
They have a press release that goes out once a month. Now they look good. They got some vanity PR. They got some SEO.
And then about our $1 a day thing. So we're going to boost to their city on Facebook and Twitter, and just for that extra little bit.
And that's your CTR right there, right? That's your
yeah.
Instead of CTR, you've got real human traffic coming through your $1 a day clicks.
So ours is legit because the CTR is people 100%. In that city that actually are engaging. There's no fake whatever people in the Philippines, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, your $1 a day is the best CTR campaign you could have.
I never really thought about it like that, but you're right, it is.
100%. That's all local relevant traffic, and it's real.
Yeah. Yeah. And Twitter and Snapchat are my favorite two for those kinds of campaigns. Because
it's as long as you're dropping a link to drive traffic to the website or to the media room or to the press release or to an asset outside of Facebook or Twitter or TikTok.
Right. Yeah. So
if the traffic is staying in TikTok, then you're not getting any SEO benefit of it. But if they click out, now you are.
Yeah, exactly. So it'd be really cool if you had the app integrations for these others. I know it says like coming soon or whatever. That would be cool. Then the other part I didn't mention was, in order to get people, because we can get people who are very interested. Like if Tom Ferry or Glenn Vo or one of these other lighthouses, Caleb Williams, made an announcement, hey, we have an agency, come sign up, and the price is super cheap compared to what you'd see from other places. people would want to get on the phone, do a Zoom, ask questions. They want consulting, which is how you get killed as an agency, unless you're doing Josh Nelson kind of agency stuff with his client. Our whole model is zero account management, zero customization, zero talking. We have waiters. I'm sorry, we have cooks, and we have, people eating in the kitchen, and there's no waiters. There's because the menu, like, this is what it is. You might as well press the button on the vending machine. You get the number 3, the food comes out. There's no discussing, because we preconditioned. Here's the expectations on what that is. So
I mean, these lighthouse guys would never be able to do anything with their network if you don't have that guy, because they get bogged down immediately with 100 people, and then it'd be done.
I mean, the most we'll do is like a webinar, or we'll have a group where people can ask questions, but we don't want to do something that looks like an agency. But I mean, it looks kind of like an agency because we're driving the results, but there's no talking to anybody. And the key thing, I think, in the middle, or there's 2 key things in the middle. And one is this snapshot report. So it's already pre-narrated using these with the overdub and all, already pre-narrated, explaining what the different things are. So that takes care of the first part of account management and selling. No need to sell, no need for appointment setting, because there's already trust through the lighthouse. And the second piece is automated reporting that comes out every week. Not just, and there's lots of report making tools, but I'm talking about stuff that has lightweight explanations along the way.
Yep.
So I think that we can basically kill the account manager role. I'm not saying there's never a need for account managers anymore, but for something that's only $500 a month that includes the ad spend and these other pieces, there's nobody can. It's just like the McDonald's of internet marketing, but you're not going to get diabetes. You're going to actually get results.
And if you and the ones who want that extra touch and feel or hand holding are just not going to fit in the model. I just need to go somewhere else. And
then we will push them to hey, if you want a premium VIP,
go to a 7-figure agency.
And here are these other people. So yeah, that's why I want to assemble at some point with Josh a directory of here's these other agencies. And that way I want all the 7-figure agencies to know that, hey, I'm not here to try to steal. I'm here to take the clients that you don't want. And then the clients that will pay the $2,000 or $3,000 a month, who have to talk to a human, who want to talk to a human,
right,
who is knowledgeable. Like I wish I could, but I cannot produce those people at scale out of Pakistan or the Philippines or whatever.
Agreed.
And these people in the Philippines and Pakistan and India and Kosovo, I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think I can ever train them to be able to have a conversation like you and I are having. They just are going to do their thing and make $500 a month and take care of their family. And that's great, Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different mentality for sure. The big thing for us is just quality and writing in third person. Those, quality content in third person. And then here's your SOP on how to actually write a really good optimized piece of content or press release.
Yeah.
So if they can follow the SOP and write in third person, that's probably what you're looking for. And I'm sure out of the many thousands you have, you'll be able to find some that can write or with a tutorial session or two would be able to tweak it and have it figured out.
Yeah. This is what I'm going to do here. Paste the link below to your sample for us to evaluate. See? So we'll get a ton of people. Literally, I've just discovered that writing short things like this and having people qualify is better than doing webinars and all that kind of stuff. Like, boom, there it is. Now people are going to look at your stuff. There it is. Midnight over there. All right.
I'm happy to do, a training session with you for your workers to talk about, like I did with Josh in the 7-figure group, to go through, what is EAT? What does it stand for?
Yeah.
Why is it important? Why do we want to consider EAT when we're writing an article of content?
Yeah. What I think do that in a couple of weeks, or you're not going to be in Miami in a weekend.
I won't. No.
Okay. So maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks, because I want to give our community a chance to marinate on this.
Okay.
In our internal team. And then I'll be more intelligent about it too. And be able to make it simpler.
One thought too for those lighthouse clients, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we'll have our private labeled instance of the platform ready for agencies. So you'll be able to take the entire Signal Genesys platform and you'll be able to put it onto your domain, and it'll all be branded to you, and you'll be able to have your own users then. and clients will be able to get access to it. So you could literally take, the platform and brand it to Tom Ferry, right? And now Tom Ferry has his own like.
That. If you can get that to me or if we can have it set up by August 13th, I'm going to be speaking at NIFA, which is the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors.
Oh yeah, NAFA, yeah.
NAFA, whatever it is, yeah.
Yep.
I've been spending time with their president and their head of marketing, and I had no idea they were so big. They're the largest and oldest.
I worked with the Tampa chapter of NAFA for just helping them with some of their marketing a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I met the president at a conference and we hit it off, and I also had the figurehead in life insurance, so that also helps a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And he's help mastermind. So
the private instance of the platform is in beta testing. We're just working out bugs now and clearing them, and then it'll be live.
Okay.
So
timing's
good. As soon as I have something ready on that, I'll just proactively ping you too if I don't hear from you.
Perfect. Yeah, love it, Lane. Dude, I'm so glad we connected.
Yeah, man. Likewise. However I can help, just let me know.
All right, you're the man. You have a good Sunday.
I'll wait to hear from you regarding everything on your end, and I'll reach out to you as soon as I have something on the private label instance too.
Awesome. And then in a week or two, I have a little personal branding web generating. It's not WPMU, but it's our own little tool that generates WordPress instances based on themes that we've created.
Okay.
So I'd love to figure out a way to integrate that, because I think even if this is a whole nother can of worms, I don't want to open it up now, or I could show you, but we built it for Jake Paul initially, and all of his fans who want to have their own, be an influencer, but they don't have a personal brand website, and it's all on AWS, and it pulls in data from different sorts of places. But we think every business should have their business website, but each of the people should have a personal brand website too.
Especially if it's strategically built for around the company or the brand, the entity, because Google is looking for that authorship, that loves to connect people to companies.
Yeah. So authorship on the company blog ties back to the personal brand site, which that personal brand site ties to all their social medias, which is the main thing we're connecting, and making sure consistency there. Yeah. And eventually, some people, it's not in our roadmap now, but we want to tie it to getting, knowledge panels and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm sure we'll just keep working through this as it grows and it evolves.
Cool. Awesome, Lane. Appreciate it.
If you have questions, just let me know. Just ping me.
I'll hit you up.
Sounds good.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Dennis. You too. Bye-bye.